Welcome to Cooking with Ely Youth Staff. I'm Chef Kevin.
And I'm Chef Ben.
And today we are going to be making chocolate chip cookies. The first step is preheating your oven to 400 degrees. Make sure you ask a parent to help you. Some of the ingredients you will need for this recipe are 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 3/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 3/4 of a cup, or 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 2 to 2.5 cups, depending on how many chocolate chips you like. When you're using cold butter, you want to cut it into cubes so it breaks down easy. The easiest way to do that is to cut it in half, then cut it in half again, and then cube it.
This is
Now you have
something that
nice
your parents
cubes.
can also help with.
Make sure when you're measuring flour, you level it off with a knife or other flat surface.
When you're measuring brown sugar, you want to pack down the brown sugar so it is nice and compact. So you can use the back of a spoon to push it down.
The next step is to cream the butter, the brown sugar, and the regular sugar. You want to start off at a low speed so nothing flies out of the bowl. The next step is to add your eggs and your vanilla. Make sure you crack these carefully and don't get any shell in the bowl.
And then for the vanilla, you always want to measure over your bowl. So if a little bit drips over it, that's fine. But you're not spilling it all over the counter or anywhere else in your kitchen.
Now you stir once again. Sometimes it helps to use a spatula just to make sure everything gets mixed.
Alright, so next we're going to add the flour, cornstarch, salt, and baking soda. I added them all together so it's easier to mix. So you're going to want to add a little at a time so it doesn't explode in a big powder explosion. So you're going to want to start on a slow speed and slowly add.
Next, you're going to add your chocolate chips. Feel free to add more or less than the recipe calls for, depending on how much you want.
This recipe calls for 2 to 2.5 cups.
So we'll do 3.
It's easier to get it going a little bit in the mixer so they're easy to stir in the chips. Don't go too long though. You're still gonna have to do it by hand.
To get the size and the shape of a good cookie, you want to use an ice cream scooper like this and go from an appropriate height.
Come on, you can do better than that. That might be a little bit too high to do at home.
Make sure you're careful putting
Kevin,
pans in the oven.
lengthwise, you can get two on. Do two on the bottom,
Okay.
one on top. Paper's gonna blow everywhere. Turn it the other way, Ben. Yeah.
Thanks for watching our chocolate chip cookie video. I'm Chef Kevin.
And I'm Chef Ben.
We'll see you guys next week.